She was about to get a second chance, until he opened his mouth. Inside the quiet, wood-paneled courtroom, the air was heavy with tension. Late afternoon. Sunlight sliced through tall windows, dust motes drifting like tiny suspended seconds. On one side, the bustling staff of the court. On the other, the defendant, a man in a tailored suit, eyes sharp, lips curled in a confident smirk. The nameplate read, James Harrington, CEO, today. He was not a titan of industry. Today, he was a man facing the law. Judge Caprio sat at the bench, hands folded calmly, a presence of measured authority. His eyes, warm but unyielding, swept the courtroom. James Harrington was no ordinary defendant. By all accounts, he had the resources, the charm, and the world at his feet. Yet here he was, facing a fine for fraudulent corporate practices that hurt dozens of small investors. The law was clear, but mercy was on the table. Mr. Harrington, I've read your file. It's complicated, but I also see that life hasn't always been simple for you. I want to hear your side of the story. Please tell me what happened. Judge Caprio said, leaning in slightly, his voice soft. Judge, let me be honest. I built my company from nothing. Every mistake I made, it was malicious. It was business. The market is brutal. People don't understand that. They just want someone to blame. James replied, smooth and self-assured. I understand ambition. I understand risk. But this isn't about ambition. It's about accountability. When people are hurt, the law seeks not only justice but understanding. Can you acknowledge the impact your actions had on those investors? Judge Caprio asked. Voice steady, compassionate. James smirked. Judge, impact, they invested knowing the risks. Life isn't fair. I can't control how people react to success. Some call me a genius, others, they're just jealous. The courtroom held its breath. Judge Caprio leaned in, ready to offer guidance, perhaps a chance to reduce the fine. But James's arrogance was like a crack in a fragile bridge. Every word, every excuse widened it. Mr. Harrington, I want to be fair, I truly do, but fairness requires honesty, and honesty requires humility. Do you see that your statements are dismissive of the very people you've harmed? The judge said, voice firming. James leaned back, crossing his arms, a condescending smile on his face. Judge, with all due respect, humility isn't for me. I didn't create this system to be told I'm wrong. I did become successful by apologizing to everyone who complains. I am what I am. Some call me God. The word hung in the courtroom like a challenge. Judge Caprio's eyes, once filled with patience, narrowed. The air shifted. The energy of compassion began to crack under the weight of arrogance. God, Mr. Harrington, no one is above accountability. Not the wealthy, not the powerful, not even the proud. You've been given the opportunity to show humility, and instead you flaunt entitlement, Judge Caprio said, voice rising, controlled but firm. Judge Caprio's gaze was unwavering as James chuckled, leaning forward mockingly. Judge, I'm just telling it like it is. Reality isn't fair. People want excuses. I don't make excuses. And there it is, Judge Caprio said, taking a deep breath, the courtroom silent in anticipation. Mercy is withdrawn. The court will impose the full penalty, not because I am cruel, but because accountability is not optional. You had the choice to show remorse, to accept responsibility, and you refused. James scoffed. You can't understand what it takes to lead, to be successful. No, Mr. Harrington, I understand perfectly. I understand pride and I understand arrogance, but leadership without humility is tyranny. Success without accountability is empty, Judge Caprio replied, calm, unwavering. The gavel struck, final and decisive. The courtroom exhaled, a mix of relief, shock, and quiet affirmation. Judge Caprio's eyes softened, not at the defendant but at the lesson unfolding. Before everyone. Let this be a reminder to all. Greatness is measured not only by achievements but by character. We are remembered not for our wealth or our titles, but for how we treat others and how we accept responsibility, Judge Caprio said, looking around the courtroom. James Harrington left the courtroom defeated, not by law alone, but by his own refusal to own his actions. In a world full of excuses, humility and accountability remain the true measures of character. Remember, it's never too late to take responsibility, but the first step is acknowledging the truth about yourself. Pride without reflection is a path to ruin, Judge Caprio said, turning toward the audience, his voice gentle but firm. And so the lesson echoes. Arrogance may shield you for a time, but it cannot withstand the weight of justice, honesty, and humility. If you loved this courtroom story, hit subscribe and turn on notifications for more unforgettable judge stories. Share this story and remind someone you know, humility matters more than titles.